Hi, I'm DK Will, and this is DK. We'll talk about it. And I want to talk about this article right here. XRP price crash causes 1000% liquidation imbalance. Is a bullish recovery to $3 next? In short order, the answer is very likely yes, because it's not uncommon before large moves, and particularly in XRP, for them to liquidate the margins, liquidate the longs and the shorts. In other words, in this instance, the XRP price sparked a 1000% liquidation imbalance after dropping to 213. So the bulls were expecting something out of the news developments, out of the circle developments, and that's how the controllers, I'll call them, are playing with the psychology of the market and messing with people's heads. They get you to believe that something good's going to come about. You get very bullish, and then you start taking higher risk.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
In this case, the higher risk is the long positions, and it shows that XRP price dropped to 213, triggering a 1000% liquidation imbalance as $14 million in long positions were liquidated. So what that means is, say you have $1,000, but you want to control $10,000 worth. Well, you go on margin, and you put up your $1,000. You get the contract to control 10,000, but you also have a liquidation point. In this case, let's say 214. But see, you were expecting it to go from 220 to say 254. So you were expecting to benefit from that 214 to 244, that 30-cent difference per XRP, and you were expecting to make 10 times your money, because instead of controlling $1,000 worth of XRP with that 30-cent margin, you're controlling $10,000 worth of XRP with that 30-cent margin. But what happens if it goes under 214? That's your liquidation point, like it did here to 213. You lose all your money. Your entire $1,000 is gone. Now, if it goes the other way and you were right, you don't even have to exercise your call at 254. You can watch it go to 264 and 274. Eventually, you have to make a decision to exercise it depending on the length of the contract. So that's what's happening here. And they played with people's heads, and they gave you an anticipation of a price spike, and then they liquidated those who were the riskier ones. And they tend to do that quite often before they let a price take off. And that's why I say the answer to this question here is quite likely yes. Is 3 going to be the stop point? I don't know what the stop point is, but do I expect a bullish breakout as it mentions here? I absolutely do, because they have liquidated the long positions, those who are trying to get the biggest advantage off of this, and they control the narrative, and they also control the prices, people. And that's why the best thing to do, in my opinion, unless you have the kahunas to take the risk, is to buy and get your gorilla grip on your XRP. That's my best advice. Get your gorilla grip, and then set your targets without going in debt on margin that you have to either get liquidated by something like this. It says that the price slipped from a daily high of 224 to a daily low of 213 on May 1st. That's yesterday, as traders reacted to news around the failed acquisition of USDC stablecoin issuer Circle. You see how they manipulate it? You're anticipating this great good news. Oh, that's going to run the price up, and bam, the price comes down. The dip triggered a liquidation imbalance as some traders with open long positions were forcefully closed. You don't have a choice. You are liquidated, causing a surge in sell side pressure. Another way they control the price. And if you like the content I'm providing, please make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And then come back for more DK Will Talk About It. And those of us who are just spot market traders and holding might get rattled, and the FUD comes in, the fear, uncertainty, and doubts. Oh, get out, it's falling, it's falling. No, it's not falling. They are liquidating all those who are taking the high risk. And they usually do that before the price takes off. How bad did it get? Well, there's another article about this as well from yesterday, and it was a shocking 5,438% of liquidation imbalance in 1 hour. Okay. And so it said down here that it was liquidations with 7.5 million in long positions wiped out. That's $7.5 million lost and in the market. You remember I said many times before in older videos, the money just don't disappear and it doesn't come out of nowhere. For you or me to make $1,000, somebody or somebody's bogey. I'm sorry for bogey, y'all. Bogey's the parent. Somebody or somebody's has to lose $1,000 plus fees. You follow me? So now we have $7.5 million of lost money in this market. It's not the exchange's money. And based on this one, we have $14 million of long positions, long money that was lost. Now, there were some short losses too. Let me see here. While the short losses came in at around 1.5 million in this article, and in this article, the short losses came in at about $140,000. That's also money lost. That's money that is lost to the individuals who put it in the market. But that's also money that they can pay me with now because it ain't their money. You follow me? So this is newsworthy. How bad can it get? See here? How about 33,928% liquidation stuns XRP back on the 16th of last month when the bears got wiped out trying to over benefit from the market. So it can get pretty scary and pretty ugly if you play that game. You better be a good trader and you better be watching the markets daily. To me, that's not the way to live. So no, I don't do that. But this imbalance stands out among broader market turbulence, it says over 98% was on the long side. So people were expecting great bullish good news. And usually before that bullish news manifests itself, they go down and they wipe out the margins. They wipe out the calls. Okay, they wipe them out because they want to make the big money, the 10x on their money, not you. Not you. We are usually the source of liquidation. So this is worthy of note. And what makes it most worthy of note to me, for my audience, is I believe it's a sign, it's an indicator, it's representative of the fact that in the next week to 10 days or less, XRP is probably going to take a bullish run. Now, what's the next part of it? Unless you really know what you're doing, don't put yourself in this situation here. Of course, you can put in stop losses and things of that nature. In other words, if it goes down so far, you choose to liquidate. You choose to bow out and say, okay, I'm gonna lose $200, but I'm gonna cut it off at $200. You can do that, right? But when you are forcibly moved away from it, when it triggers a cascade of long liquidations that will push the price down and possibly cause a breach of the $2 support level, you don't want to be in that position because then there'll be people like me saying, well, I know my dollar cost average is very low, but when it comes to prices of any particular stock, in this case XRP, and I said it before and I will say it again, everything always happens in spikes. It doesn't live up here in plateau. So when it goes down, it goes back up, and this is where you make money. Now, if you're a shorter, this is where you make money. On margin, not me. I'd rather come in right around here in this extended red period, knowing that XRP is worth more than that. No matter what anybody says out of their mouth, I know it's worth more than that. So how long do I got to wait to get to here? In this instance, I only got to wait in the same day, right? But this is just example. This is only example purpose. To the very next day. XRP is about to go up in price. That's the main reason for this video. And it's articles like this that tell DKWILL XRP is about to go up in price. That's all I wanted to talk about. And I've talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.